The internet loves to talk, and no film gets more hate than this one.
Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat is perhaps the worst holiday movie ever made.
The best argument yet made for extending artists right beyond
this Cat in the Hat is dogs.
I laughed once. That's it.
One of the most
joke
repulsive kiddie movies ever made.
for grown-ups.
And at 10%, it's one of the most critically hated films of all time. And I, for one, am sick of it. This film is not only a good film, it's a masterpiece in 2000s raunchy comedies that deserves its flowers. And I'm going to prove it. Charge number 1, it butchered a classic children's tale. Can you show me where they said it was supposed to be a faithful remake? You can't, because it never was. The film was never intended to be a page-for-page retelling of Dr. Seuss's book. That's not what it was aiming for, and pretending like it is just sets up the wrong expectations. It was always supposed to be a sketch comedy style spin-off of the original story, built for an era where families were eating that up in film.
Who can?
Here's a quick summary if you forgot the story. A cat trespasses onto their house, causes a mess, brings out thing 1 and thing 2, who creates even more of a mess. All 3 of them leave, and then just as the mom is about to come inside and see the mess, the cat comes back, cleans it up, and it's all back to normal like it never happened. The book is pretty short, only like a few hundred words, and most of it's just rhyming. So this 90-minute film had to add a lot of extra content that wasn't in the original. And I think some of it improved the story. But first, we have to talk about Mrs. Kwan.
Oh.
Hi, Mrs. Kwan.
Hi.
I'm running late. Thanks for babysitting on such short notice.
Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Kwan. I'll be back in a couple of hours. Conrad?
She's giving very Mrs. Doubtfire vibes, and I'm here for it, but she did just sleep for the entire film. Could you imagine working your whole life trying to be an actor? You get your first feature film, you think it's gonna be your breakout role, and then you read the script and you're literally just sleeping in every scene. And if not that, your body is being used as a boat.
Here she comes! Right on schedule! Oh yeah!
We're going to ride, Mrs. Kwan?
Sure, it's the only way to the crate! Hop on!
How many takes do you think she did of this? Like, Mrs. Kwan, yeah, we're gonna need to do it again. Just go back up the slide, roll back down again. We're gonna splash your face another 5 or 6 more times, okay? Just get used to the water on your face. Okay, besides from Mrs. Kwan, we're gonna put her aside. They added a lot of other features and elements in the film that was in the book that I think improved the story. First of all, the character development of the 2 siblings, learning from each other and learning that they need to take responsibility and trust each other. I think that's really cool and a great story and a moral to tell children watching the film. And then this guy, who I just hated seeing in every scene, and I hated him even more in every scene he was in. So seeing him get rejected so horribly at the end was very, very satisfying.
Joan. Oh, Joan. Joan.
And sure, like, the film compared to the book is a lot more crude and has more adult jokes, but I don't think the film was trying to preserve the book's innocence. In fact, I think it was trying to do like all other raunchy comedies at the time. I think it was trying to explode the innocence. Take the innocent children's book and make it into this sketch comedy skit for adults and children. If you really want a faithful adaptation of The Cat in the Hat, you could have watched the 1971 animated film for that. This live action adaptation was trying to be different. It was trying to ride the wave of other comedies at the time. Second of all, have you read the books recently? You would not want a faithful remake. The cat, dare I say, is worse in the books. The whole purpose of the cat arriving was to provide some fun for the children. I think we can all agree on that. Does he ever provide fun for the children in the books? Heck no. All he does in the book is that he takes everything in the house and throws it on the ground.
He needs some milk!
Creates work for the kids as they try to catch thing 1 and thing 2, and gives the kids trauma.
You see this face? This is sheer determination and willpower. And this is pure anger. Get these illegal aliens outside of my house.
And on the next page comes out with his handy dandy cleaning machine, and he doesn't even say sorry. As if creating the mess was the fun. At least in the film, the cat gave the kids some fun before wrecking the house.
This is amazing! Like being in the circus!
I mean, just look at this face. This is a face of fun. Good old jolly fun. Now look at this face. This is trauma. This is my mom just got the coat hanger trauma. This is I'm about to get a beating trauma. This is I forgot to make the rice and they're coming home trauma. All my Asians out there, you know what I mean. And yes, Audrey Giesel of the Dr. Seuss's estate has openly said she isn't a fan of the film and Mike Myers. But let's be real, she's famously known to be very protective of the Dr. Seuss's legacy. Any deviation or change from the original story, she would have pushback on, meaning her disapproval of this film doesn't mean that this film is bad or that you shouldn't watch it. It just means that it's different. Granted, they did disallow any more future live-action adaptations of Dr. Seuss's work, which honestly is just so sad to me because could you imagine Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, Will Ferrell to be Cat in the Hats in future films? Like, oh, such a missed opportunity, and it would have been so funny. Charge number 2, Mike Myers ruined the character. This one is a little bit more difficult. Mike Myers notoriously hated being on set, having to spend 3 hours in makeup every morning and having to put on a full bodysuit. He was also forced to be there. He couldn't say no.
The single most difficult aspect of the movie was, what is the cat gonna look like?
Bruh.
You see, just before this film, he costed Universal Pictures millions of dollars for abandoning a film that was already midway through production. A film, mind you, that he wrote the screenplay for. It was called Dieters, and it was based on the SNL sketch called Sprockets, which he also starred in.
Welcome to Sprockets, I'm your host, Dieter.
As part of the agreement he signed for repayment, he was to star in the next feature film, and it just so happened to be Cat in the Hat. Despite all of this, he put on a marvelous show embodying the SNL sketch comedy and Dr. Seuss's absurdity. And the most hilarious section of the film wasn't even from the original story.
This amazing device can instantly make cupcakes out of anything that you have in the kitchen. Wait a minute, did you say anything? Anything. Anything? Yes, anything. 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 I'll get you, and I'll look like a bloody accident. Anything. Now, let's see.
Nobody else could have played Cat in the Hat with the same level of bizarreness that the sketch comedy script called for. Fun fact, Tim Allen was supposed to play the role as Cat, but he turned it down due to scheduling conflicts with Santa Claus 2. Now when you hear that, you might think, if only we had Tim Allen as the cat, maybe that would have been better. No, bro. Go back to your closet. Tim Allen wanted to make Cat a nightmarish villain, like a werewolf. And I'm not joking. Here's a direct quote from him. My dream is to give her the edge that scared me. Like Alien, we'll see very little of the cat. Like a human being who turns into the cat like a werewolf or vampire as he gets more frustrated to deal with these children. Oh my god, thank God we didn't have Tim Allen as the cat. I cannot even imagine what that would look like. Let's see what Tim Allen would look like as Cat in the Hat, right? We have AI machines now. We can just do that real quick. Wow. Okay. If you want to see these, I'll put in the description, but I don't recommend looking. Charge number 3. The humor is inappropriate for kids. I'm sorry, have you seen the 2000s kid shows airing at the time? This kind of comedy is exactly the thing we could have expected from the film. Second of all, why are we pretending like adult comedy wasn't common even in kid shows way back? Looney Tunes did it, and no one batted an eye. Sure, this film pushed up against those boundaries sometimes and edged the line, but never crossed it. In my opinion, all the weed jokes, low-cut shirts, and Fred's line of "I could see myself naked" in the 2003 Scooby-Doo film was way worse.
Hey, I can look at myself naked.
Oh, brother.
And the Cat in the Hat humor is still being enjoyed and appreciated today. This movie was ahead of its time. Mike Myers is a global treasure. I will forever defend this movie as being one of the greatest creations man has invented. I think that's just so good. People are really loving the Cat in the Hat now, and it shows, man. Mike Myers is just too funny. They don't make him like they used to. I still quote this movie daily. We need another one so bad. 312 likes. And it's just so sad that the estate barred anyone to make another live action adaptation. I mean, there is a 2026 film animated version of Cat in the Hat again. I think this is going to be the next feature film after the 2003 Cat in the Hat. So I'm expecting it to be good as well. But it's just sad, you know? I wish we had another live action adaptation. I think even Dr. Seuss himself in the 80s mentioned that he was wanting to do a live action adaptation of Cat in the Hat. And of his top 3, one of them was Robin Williams, another one was Steve Carell, another one was Jim Carrey. Like, he wanted these comedians, these live action adaptations to happen. Maybe he didn't, I don't think he mentioned Mike Myers, but I mean, hey, you know, maybe at the time in 2003, the film wasn't well received. I mean, that's an understatement, but now it's getting some love, and the love that honestly I think it deserves. Charge number 4. The set designs are bad, it looks garish and fake. I'm sorry, are we really critiquing Bo Welch, the same designer who brought you Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, and Men in Black to life just before he made the Cat in the Hat film? Because I strongly disagree with you there. The set, costume, and prop design were all fantastic. Arguably, they were the best thing about the film. It was everything you could ever want, making a 1950s illustrative book come to life on the big screen and so much more. Sure, it was a bit surreal with the colors, but I ask you again, have you read the book recently? If you're still critiquing the designs, how would you have wanted them to design it instead? Because I doubt you could have done a better job than Rita Riak, who, just a few years earlier, was nominated for an Oscar for her costume on The Grinch live-action adaptation for Jim Carrey. She painstakingly put in the work and made sure the cat costume was amazing. And the props, don't even get me started. They were insanely detailed and true to the story. Charge number 5. It flopped and was critically panned. You see, the problem with reviewers and critics is that they aren't kids. They're adults whose part-time job it is to write reviews on the internet. And I'm sorry, if you're writing reviews on the internet in 2003, barely when the internet was even born.
Hi, how are you?
You just could not understand the genius behind this magnum opus. Dr. Seuss actually has a famous quote on the similar tone to this. I'd rather write for kids. They're more appreciative. And adults are obsolete children. The hell with them. In terms of whether it commercially flopped, it did make $134 million in the box office, while the budget was only $109 million. So it did churn a profit. It may not have been a complete success, but by no means was it a complete and utter disaster that so many people think it was. And I must say, films that continue to last in our culture matter way more than a Rotten Tomatoes reviewer score that was mostly done in the 2003 when it aired. Now, after everything I said, let me quote you some Ed Koch. If you agree with me on 8 out of 10 issues, vote for me. If you agree with me on 10 out of 10, see a psychiatrist. The Cat in the Hat is a masterpiece of cinema, specifically within the 2000s comedy genre. It's not a Christopher Nolan film, and it's not a Jurassic Park film, but by golly gee, does it succeed at being a slapstick comedy that it always was. I think we can look back at this film with fond memories, and watch it whenever we want to escape the brutally capitalistic world that we live in and have some nonsensical fun with a cat in the hat on a rainy day. And if you still disagree with me, please let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and I just might reply to yours.
Look, I'm not saying we're going to sue. I'm just saying we have a case. We'll talk later. Ixnay. Bye.